Part 62. Rebirth of a Farming Wife. Author, Tien. Chapter 615. Hearing that Su Wenyu had been alone in the room for so long without coming out, Brother Xing became more worried the longer he waited. Although his mother had given instructions, things still depended on the situation. He was not a filial person. After thinking about it, he couldn't restrain himself. I still went to the main room, and I didn't know what the woman said, but I couldn't let my mother think about it alone. If he went over, there would be someone who could enlighten her. Young Master Nanny Li and Zai Li first saluted Brother Xing with respect on their faces. Although Brother Xing was young, he was not an ordinary child. Not to mention that Brother Xing was the eldest son of the general, but Brother Xing was my brother's ability and intelligence are enough for them to take him seriously. Mom has been alone in there. Is there anything going on? Brother Xing nodded and asked, with worry in his tone. Madam has been inside all this time, and she didn't let the old slave go in to serve her. It's been almost an hour. I wonder how Madam is doing. Brother Xing did not speak after hearing Nanny Li's answer. Instead, he turned his gaze to Zai Li. Uncle Zai, Dad sent you back. Is what the woman said true? Zai Li did not answer when he heard the words, but looked at Nanny Li and shook Xiang. Although they were Madam's confidants, the matter was so important that no information could be revealed, otherwise it might affect the overall situation. When Brother Xing saw Zai Li acting like this, he told Nanny Li and shook Xiang, you guys go down first. I have something to say to Uncle Zai. Seeing that Nanny Li and shook Xiang had retreated, Brother Xing continued, Uncle Zai, there is no one else around now. You can tell me the truth of the matter. Don't worry, although I am young, I understand the importance of it. I have said this, no one will know about my hearing. Only when I know the truth can I know how to comfort my mother. After so much time has passed, Brother Xing already has a lot of ideas and calculations in his mind. If Zai Li hadn't come, Brother Xing would have to weigh more. Now that Zai Li has come, he can get accurate information from Zai Li news, thereby influencing Su Wenyu's thoughts and emotions through persuasion. After listening to Brother Xing's words, Zai Li once again sighed in his heart that Brother Xing was so young and mature. He really didn't look like a child. If one ignores Brother Xing's age, he is really just like an adult. Moreover, Brother Xing still has the shadow of an adult in his body. Majesty. Young Master, please rest assured. Your Majesty's feelings towards Madam have never changed. You value Madam more than anything else. It's just about the overall situation and you have to make some sacrifices. However, these do not exceed Madam's bottom line. It's just that outsiders don't know situation, so I misunderstood. Then why didn't my father come back in person? Brother Xing is easy to fool. Although he still trusts Zai Mo is loyal to his father. The first thing he wants to protect is his mother's interests, so he immediately questions. He said, if his father really cared about his mother as Zai Mo said, he should have come in person instead of sending subordinates around him. Not only was this lack of sincerity, but could there be something that prevented him from leaving? The eldest young master is so shrewd. He deserves to be the general's son. Zai Li thought, his face becoming more respectful, it's not that the general won't come back, it's just that there are very important things happening right now that will affect the overall situation. The general must be present, so the general sent his subordinates back first because he was worried that the lady would have crazy thoughts after hearing the rumors and that she would do something stupid. As for the truth of the matter, I also asked the young master not to reveal it to the lady for the time being. The general wants to explain it to the lady in person. When Brother Xing heard this, he felt relieved. As long as his father didn't really have another woman outside, otherwise things would still be a bit troublesome. Although he had already made preparations before getting a definite answer. His mother will live a good life with the three of them. After all, She still hopes that the family can live in harmony, and there are some things that they cannot replace. Since Dad has given orders, I will naturally follow them. Where is Madam? Zymo looked at the closed door and said. Uncle Zai, don't worry. I will persuade my mother. I will wait for my father to come back and explain to my mother in person. My mother is not that ignorant woman. Although she is a little jealous because of her deep love for her father, she is definitely not unreasonable. A reasonable person, as long as what Uncle Zai says is true, my mother will understand. This eldest young master is protective of his mother. How could his wife be jealous in this aspect? She is simply jealous. But what does this have to do with others? Anyway, the general is willing to pamper him, and he has the young master and the young lady to protect him. It is useless for anyone to be envious and jealous. What the eldest young master said is that my wife cannot be more virtuous. The eldest young master is responsible for everything. My subordinates are waiting outside. If you have anything to do, just give me orders. Brother Seeing nodded, then opened the door and walked inside. When he saw his mother, who was alone and curled up on a chair, with a look of confusion on her face, Brother Seeing only felt distressed and regretful. Even if I didn't come here earlier, even if I couldn't persuade her to say anything, it was always good to stay with my mother like this. So when Ayu heard the sound of the door opening and knew someone had come in, she frowned slightly. She had clearly ordered that no one be allowed in. She looked over angrily and saw a small figure. She held back her words of accountability. The depression and anger in his body also disappeared a lot, and he tried his best to look normal. Brother Seeing is here? Come to mother quickly, this child may have been worried about her. Su Wenayu sighed in her heart and stretched out her hand to Brother Seeing. In the military camp, Han Yu arranged everything that needed to be arranged in an orderly manner. He looked calm, but his heart was still restless. Occasionally, he was in a trance for a moment. This little abnormality would be fine if it happened to others, but it was very conspicuous on Han Yu, attracting Lu Xiu's attention. Zyuki, what's wrong with you? Is there something wrong? I see you are a little uneasy, Lu Xiu asked with concern. He didn't want any accidents at this time, both publicly and privately. They had arranged this game for a long time, which played a key role in the development of future events. It was very important and could not afford any mistakes. Han Yu's behavior made him a little worried. Han Yu obviously knew this truth and nodded. If it weren't for this, he would have galloped back at this moment, and he wouldn't be so nervous here, but these were not things that could be told to Lu Xiu. Han Yu could sense that Lu Xiu was not very satisfied with his wife, probably because of her reputation for jealousy, which Lu Xiu particularly disliked. Although it did not matter, this man was the future emperor, and who knew what would happen in the future. He did not want to create hidden dangers for his wife, so even though he was worried, he calmed down as soon as possible. Rebirth of a Farming Wife. Author, Tianni. Chapter 616. Han Yu himself was a calm and composed person. He was only slightly distracted by Su Wenayu's matter. He realized that his current state was not right and adjusted himself. It was useless for him to worry in vain. It would be better to get things done quickly and rush back earlier. Fortunately, Zai Li was sent back. At least his wife would not be in trouble. It was better to settle down and deal with the current matters at hand. As the saying goes, one careless move can lead to a complete loss. It is related to success or failure, and it is also related to the life and property of their entire family. There can be no omissions. When things developed to this point, Lu Xiu was also afraid of Lu Xian. Lu Xiu not only had a good relationship with Lu Wenliang's eldest son Lu Qian, but also guarded against him everywhere, even against Lu Xian. In addition, Lu Xiu and Han Yu's abilities were really not to be underestimated. This was definitely a big threat to Lu Xian. Lucien is a ruthless and narrow-minded person. He has long held a grudge against Lu Xiu and others. He does not just want to drive Lu Xiu and others out of Pichen, but wants to completely eliminate them. Otherwise, Lu Xiu and Han Yu would not have done this today. After all, this is in Pichen. They have to consider Lu Wenliang to a large extent. Fortunately, Lu Wenliang also has ideas about this carefree son. He almost acquiesces to some of their actions, otherwise it would be more difficult. It is mainly because Lu Wenliang's body is not good. I am afraid that he can't hold on for long. He also began to pave the way for his preferred successor. After sending a signal, Lu Qian launched an action with them, but things did not go as smoothly as expected. Although it was successful in the end, the two largest forces around Lu Qian were eliminated. It is impossible to compete with Lu Qian in the future. Lu Xiu and Lu Qian also suffered some losses. Things were not roughly handled until the third day. Han Yu was able to take time at this time and rushed home immediately. He didn't expect to encounter such a difficult situation on the way. It has been the third day now. He didn't know how his wife was doing these 2 days. He went to the inner courtyard as soon as he got home, wishing to see his wife immediately. As soon as Han Yu came back, everyone was relieved, especially Zai Li, who was a little exhausted in the past 2 days. Although seeing Geer persuaded Su Wenliang that day, Su Wenliang didn't continue to lock herself in the room and followed her normal routine, but anyone could see how much of a blow this incident had on the lady. "How is the lady?" Han Yu hurried back, but stopped at the door and asked Li Ma and Shuxiang, who had been serving Su Wenliang. Before he came back, he was worried, but after he came back, he felt a little timid. Although Han Yu felt that he had not done anything wrong to his wife in this matter, he thought of his wife's jealous temper and Chen Li, who didn't know what she said in front of his wife, and Han Yu felt a little nervous and uncertain. People like Han Yu, facing thousands of troops and the most difficult predicaments, have never been timid, but afraid of his young wife. "Madam has not been well these days. I don't know what Miss Chen said to Madam that day." After Miss Chen left, Madam's expression was very strange. She drove everyone out and sat alone in the room for several hours. It was only when the eldest young master went in that Madam persuaded her to change. Even so, Madam is still in a bad mood. She is better when she is in front of the young masters and young ladies. She is very upset when she is alone and doesn't eat much. She can only barely cope with a few bites when the young masters and young ladies are with her. Madam's health is not very good to begin with. If this goes on, I am really afraid that Madam's health will not be able to bear it. Fortunately, you are back. While talking, Nanny Li did not forget to observe Han Yu's expression. Seeing that Han Yu cared about Su Wenliang as always, she was less worried. No matter what, the master still cared about Madam. Even if there was something outside, with this care and the young masters and young ladies, no other woman could shake Madam's position. Han Yu frowned even more after hearing what Li Ma said. He wanted to scold her, but he knew what kind of temper his wife had. If she was really stubborn, the servants would not be able to persuade her. Fortunately, the 3 children were sensible, otherwise he would not know what his wife had become when he came back. Han Yu was most concerned about his wife's health. He spent a lot of time on it. Even if he was busy these days, he never forgot to tell the servants. He hurriedly walked into the room and saw the little body curled up on the bed. Even if she was asleep, her eyebrows were locked. It was obvious that she was unhappy. The little face, which was not very plump, became even smaller in just a few days. The chin was pointed, which made people feel pity. Han Yu held the person in his arms without hesitation, even though he hadn't washed his body and was very dirty. He felt safe and secure in his heart, and was even more distressed. He didn't know how this little thing had tortured himself. He had lost so much weight in just 2 or 3 days. He felt lighter in his hands, even with the quilt, it was still light and had no weight. Su Wenyu had been sleeping poorly these days. Although she tried her best to persuade herself to believe Hanyu and at least wait for Hanyu to come back and give her a positive answer, how could she really be so rational in emotional matters? In addition, Hanyu had not come back for a long time, and there were some bad news outside. She was trapped inside and outside, and her torment was imaginable. So as soon as Hanyu held her, she woke up. Su Wenyu's eyes suddenly opened, and she looked at the still handsome but somewhat embarrassed and dirty man in front of her. The first thing she wanted to do was not to question Zhou Yao about that woman, but instead she was concerned about what Hanyu had done in the past few days. What? Especially on Hanyu, she smelled a strong smell of blood. Coupled with the unusual movements outside in the past 2 days, Su Wenyu felt even more nervous. But something happened in the city lord's palace. Why are you like this? Su Wenyu had not heard of any movement in the imperial court today, and it must not be a trivial matter to make Hanyu do this. In Peichin, there are only things involving the city lord's mansion can cause such a commotion. Hanyu felt warm when he saw that the first question his wife asked was that she was worried about his safety. After all, she was his good wife and she always put his safety first. Daughter-in-law, you guessed it right. Something happened at the city lord's mansion. Lu Xian probably noticed our actions secretly. He was afraid that our cooperation with Lu Qian would pose too great a threat to him, so he wanted to take the lead. Let's start. When Su Wenyu heard that Lu Xian was going to attack Hanyu and the others, the worried look on her face became more intense. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Rebirth of a Farming Wife. Author, Tianni. Chapter 617. Has everything been resolved? Lu Xian sighed. Don't worry, wife. From today on, Lu Xian will fall silent. He no longer has the ability to compete. At most, he is just a wealthy young man who cannot make any big waves. Su Wenyu didn't feel at ease when she heard what Hanyu said. The so-called snake was injured instead of dying, but Lu Xian's human nature, as long as he is still in Peichin, even if he doesn't have the ability to fight, he will not be willing to give in. Su Wenyu said it euphemistically, and Hanyu understood what his wife meant. It would be best to eradicate such people, but we are still in the territory of Peichin. No matter what, it depends on Lu Wenyang's face. Lu Wenyang does not want Lu Xian to have too much power to threaten him. The chosen heir has acquiesced to our actions and did not interfere, but it does not mean that we will watch us hurt Lu Xian's life, so even if we know that leaving Lu Xian will cause many disasters in the future, we have to do this. Su Wenyu obviously understood this truth. She was just worried in her heart and wanted to give Hanyu a heads up. After hearing this, she said nothing more. Since Hanyu knew what he was doing, he would naturally make arrangements. It was not her turn to worry about these things. After letting go of her worries, Su Wenyu thought of what Chen Li said again, and the expression on her face became a little cold. When Hanyu saw Su Wenyu like this, he knew that his wife was acting like this because of that. Just when he was about to open his mouth to explain, Su Wenyu had already spoken. What's going on between you and Zhou Yao? Those rumors outside. There is nothing between me and that woman. Wife, you have to believe me. You don't know my feelings for you yet. I just know that, so I don't want to believe that those rumors are true. It's just that I am also an ordinary woman. That woman's story is not just a rumor. It's just a decent rumor from outside. Some people have seen it with their own eyes. How do you explain it? When Su Wenyu said this, she had an angry, painful, and disappointed look on her face. She believed that Chen Li would not lie to her on this point. If it was a lie, it would definitely be exposed when Hanyu comes back. When Hanyu saw his wife questioning him like this, He felt relieved. At least she didn't make any judgments about the matter because of Chen Li's words. These words could be said to be questioning, or she was waiting for him to explain. She still felt believe him. Compared to the previous reactions, his wife obviously listened to his words, so she waited for him to explain in person. Daughter-in-law, Chen Li saw that whether it was true or not, it was also false, Han Yu said, scolding Chen Li countless times in his heart. Sure enough, she was the one who caused the trouble. He knew that the woman was not a peaceful person. She was outside, jumping around. He saw that she had some merits, so he ran to his wife to stir up trouble. Fortunately, the wife was calm this time and waited for him to come back to explain. Otherwise, if she had been in the same situation as before, with his character, he might do something impulsive. If Han Yu usually said this, Su Wenyu would be mostly curious, but now she has no such leisure and is a little impatient. What is true or false? Just tell me what is going on and what kind of mystery it is. Seeing that his wife was acting like this, Han Yu did not dare to delay and told the whole story. It turned out that Zhou Yao was from Lu Xian's side. Lu Xian approached Han Yu because of Lu Xian's instructions. He just wanted to place a chess piece next to Han Yu. Not only Han Yu but also Lu Xiu knew this. Han Yu didn't want to let other women get close to his wife to misunderstand him, but the situation was already very bad at that time and Lu Xian was aggressive. Han Yu had to make a plan with Lu Xiu and let Zhou Yao get close to paralyze Lu Xian so that their plan could proceed. Sure enough, now they have won and successfully defeated Lu Xian. Daughter-in-law, the situation here was tense, and I had to make this choice at that time, but don't worry, I will always remember your words, and I will never touch another woman, even if I have physical contact with that woman by then. It's not me, it's a guard I arranged. Seeing his wife's face getting worse, Han Yu quickly explained. Su Wenyu was really surprised now, her mouth opened slightly, as if she was stunned and didn't know how to react. She really didn't expect that things turned out to be like this. She thought about many possibilities, but she didn't expect that Han Yu would. On the surface, Zhou Yao can be regarded as Han Yu's woman. I didn't expect that Han Yu would take the initiative to wear a cuckold for herself. Sir. Su Wenyu felt a little excited at this time and didn't know how to express her complicated feelings. Even if Su Wenyu didn't say it out loud, her emotions were so exposed and her thoughts were reflected on her face. Han Yu could see through his wife's thoughts at a glance, and it was not in vain that he took so much trouble to arrange it. Daughter-in-law, I'm very happy that you can behave like this time, Han Yu said, hugging the person in his arms tighter. Su Wenyu raised her head slightly after hearing this, and heard Han Yu continue, I'm very happy that you didn't listen to that woman Chen Li this time, but waited for me to come back and explain it to you in person. It shows that you really mean it. He listened to my words and truly began to trust me. I am very happy and we will do the same in the future. Well, it will be like this from now on. Su Wenyu was also very touched at this time, and replied without thinking. Compared with the heavy mood of the past few days, she was particularly relaxed and happy at this time. After this incident, I wonder if Lu Xian fully understood his situation. He was no longer as arrogant and looking for trouble as before. He calmed down and spent a relatively peaceful period in Peichin. Things outside were settled, and Han Yu was no longer so busy. He also had time to stay at home to accompany his wife and children. Such a peaceful day is so rare. Su Wenyu lazily leaned in Han Yu's arms and sighed. Han Yu's face showed some worry when he heard his wife's words. He knew Lu Xian well. He would never be a person who could settle down, nor would he be willing to fail. It was even more impossible for him to watch the position of the city lord fall into the hands of others. Even if he had lost the ability to compete, such peace was definitely not real peace. There was an unusual storm brewing underground. Han Yu was worried. Not only was he so worried, but Lu Xiu and Lu Qian were also so worried. They had been sending people to keep an eye on Lu Xian, but they didn't catch any handle. It was only in these 2 days that they discovered that Lucien had secret dealings with some unknown people. With these worries, Han Yu couldn't help but give a few instructions: you should go out less these days and stay at home with the children, so that I can be more at ease. Su Wenyu obviously thought of something. Without asking questions, she nodded obediently, which made Han Yu feel relieved. However, things happened more suddenly than expected. Although Han Yu and others were prepared for Lucien's counterattack, they did not expect Lucien to be so desperate and even collude with people in the court to cooperate inside and outside, and use any means to achieve his goal. Rebirth of a Farming Wife. Author, TNNI. Chapter 618. The soldiers and horses of the imperial court suffered several losses. This operation was even more secretive. With Lucien's help, even if Han Yu and others had discovered the signs, it was too late to stop them. They had already started when everyone was caught off guard. Attack Pechen. Fortunately, both Lucien and Luciu and Han Yu knew Lucien's temperament, so they were fully prepared and were not attacked by the court in such a sudden situation. They barely defended the city, but the losses were still serious. With the attack of the imperial court, the peaceful days were broken again. Such an extremely tense situation and atmosphere filled everyone's heart. As Han Yu's wife, Su Wenyu naturally knew more than the average person and understood the seriousness of the situation. However, at this time, other than worrying and maintaining the stability of the inner house, there was no other way. It has been 10 days in a row without seeing Han Yu. Fortunately, there are capable people around him who can find out about Han Yu, so Su Wenyu can feel relieved. Han Yu was worthy of the title of God of War. Even Lucien and the people from the imperial court cooperated with each other, which made the situation tense for a while. In just half a month, the situation was gradually restored from the initial disadvantage. Under such a situation, Lu Wenliang and Lucien, father and son, were unwilling to bow to the sycophants in the court. They gritted their teeth and decisively handed over their power to Luciu. By now, Luciu had become the actual person in power in Pechen. 2 months later, the imperial troops retreated, and Luciu took over the surrounding cities, large and small, under his control. His power expanded greatly, and he was able to compete with the imperial court. Then, for the ambition of unifying the world, Luciu he still married Guo, the niece of Prince Gong of the Northern Powers. Since Su Wenyu's rebirth, many things have been different from the previous life, but the trajectory of history seems to have not changed much and is still running according to the established trajectory. Si Kongling and others are just like Su Wenyu's memory, and they have taken refuge in Luciu one after another. Under his command, Luciu's power grew stronger and stronger, and the court could no longer compete with him. 6 years later, with the efforts of Han Yu and others, Luciu finally pacified the world, ascended the throne as emperor, and established the new year, 3 years earlier than Su Wenyu remembered. "You're back," Su Wenyu looked at Han Yu, who looked particularly handsome and majestic in his official uniform, and was a little fascinated. "How does it feel on your first day in court? Has the emperor given you any rewards? As a new emperor ascends the throne, it is customary to reward meritorious officials." Su Wenyu said half-jokingly. After so many years, Han Yu's wars in the south and north finally ended the turmoil. Now that she can completely settle down, she feels extremely peaceful in her heart. Han Yu looked lovingly at his wife who came to the door. The stern expression on his face immediately softened, and the aura on his body was hidden. He smiled and took his wife's hand. "It's natural. Your Majesty has made me a first-class Marquis of the state, and you will be a first-class Marquis from now on," Han Yu said with a smile. The so-called husband is noble and his wife is honored. This is exactly what he expected at the beginning and what he later paid for. All these things were just for today, but when this day actually arrived, I was not as happy as I imagined. The so-called cunning rabbit is dead and the lackey is cooked. Now that the emperor has ascended this position, he is no longer the same person as before, although he still seems to be the same as before. After all, the friendship is different from others, but I have become jealous of other heroes who have Kong Long's Higong. Sooner or later, one day. Really, that's great. Madam Ho, who is a first-class lady, I am really prosperous. The smile on Su Wenayu's face widened. She never thought that she would still have this day, and that Han Yu was only a first-class general in his previous life. This life is actually a first-class one. She is no longer the shady concubine detained in the back house. Everything is like a dream. Don't say she is vain, that woman can be unhappy at such a moment. When Han Yu saw his wife like this, the smile on his face became more genuine. Although he was worried in his heart, it was rare to make his wife happy. Yes, MRS Marquis of the State of Super First Grade Genkuo, from now on, in addition to being in the palace, you can do it outside gone. After saying this, another subordinate came to report that the court official who issued the edict to Su Wenayu was on the way. When Han Yu heard the news, he was not happy, and his face was a little gloomy. Han Yu knew that the emperor had had feelings for his daughter-in-law, so he asked his daughter-in-law to hide from the emperor at that time. However, the emperor discovered the clue later. Although the emperor did not say it explicitly, Han Yu was very sure that the emperor already knew that his daughter-in-law was the person he had tried so hard to find, but maybe it was in his way, or maybe the emperor had forgotten about him over time, so there was no movement later. Now it seems that the emperor still has thoughts about his daughter-in-law, which is why he is so special to her. At this time, not to mention the civil and military family members of the dynasty, even the empress in the palace has not yet been entrusted. He is not the only one who invites the enfeoffment. The emperor only gave his daughter-in-law a royal title. What does this mean? MS Sir, what's wrong with you? Why do I see that you're unhappy? Obviously it's a good thing that the imperial court issued me a imperial edict. Su Wenayu looked at Han Yu with confusion. With the imperial edict, she was the legitimate first-class official. Madam Ho, is there any reason for this? Su Wenayu thought of something immediately, and the smile on her face faded. Su Wenayu actually felt the difference in Lu Xiu's treatment of her. She had bumped into Lu Xiu several times in private, especially the first time they bumped into each other. Lu Xiu's surprised expression and subsequent reaction, how could Su Wenayu not feel it? Although Su Wenayu told Han Yu a little, she was a little afraid that Han Yu would think too much, so she didn't say much. My husband, don't be upset. Actually, it doesn't matter whether I am the imperial lady or not. If you don't like it, I don't want it. Su Wenayu saw Han Yu's obvious displeasure and said hurriedly. She guessed that Han Yu was thinking of something related to Lu Xiu, so she hurriedly said that she didn't really care about that vanity. It would not be worth it if Han Yu was unhappy because of it. Han Yu felt a little regretful for showing his emotions when he saw his wife like this. It was rare for his wife to be happy, so he rubbed her head. Silly wife, this imperial decree is not something you can refuse just because you say you don't want it. Besides, this is a good thing. You can be your imperial lady peacefully and don't worry about anything else. Su Wenayu nodded and began to prepare for various matters to receive the decree. Sure enough, a ceremonial officer arrived soon after. In compliance with the will of heaven, the emperor decrees, you are hereby conferred the title of Super First Rank Lady of the State. This is decreed. After the ceremonial officer read out the imperial edict, he handed it to Su Wenayu with a look of delight, his face full of flattery and fawning. Both the Marquis of the State and his wife were valued by the emperor and he could not offend them. Congratulations to the Marquis of the State, congratulations to the Marquis of the State. The Marquis of the State is favored by the emperor, and he is the only one who is valued by the emperor. Only the Lady of the State has such an honor as a super first-rank lady, and there is no one else in the court. I am here to congratulate the lady. Rebirth of a Farming Wife. Author, TNNI. Chapter 619. Master Li, you're so polite. Su Wenyu had an idea in her mind and was not as happy as before. However, she calmly rewarded the official who announced the order, exchanged a few words, and asked the housekeeper to send the official to him. Walk. Congratulations, madam. Madam is now a first-class lady of the country. Except in the palace, madam, you can walk sideways from now on. How majestic. Han Yu deliberately made Su Wenyu happy. When the ceremony officer left, he deliberately joked. No matter what, it was a happy event, and Su Wenyu was still a little happy. Seeing Han Yu like this, she burst out laughing. Brother Xing and his 3 brothers also hurriedly congratulated their mother, with faces full of joy. Han Yu and Su Wenyu looked at their 3 grown-up children and felt increasingly happy. At this moment, Han Yu felt more relieved. So what if the emperor had thoughts about his wife? The daughter-in-law only has herself in her heart, and their children are so old. The most the emperor can do is think in his heart, even if he can't show it. Not only the friendship between them, the emperor will not and cannot do that. Sitting in that position, actually you really only feel so comfortable, and your every move is watched, and you can't really do whatever you want. The long-standing war is over, but the war in the court has just begun. The emperor wants to stabilize his imperial power, the competition for favor among the concubines, and the competition for power and status among the various factions of the courtiers have just begun. A new war has begun. Han Yu is a very transparent person, so he can understand clearly, otherwise he would not be in his current position. His ambitions and goals have been realized at the beginning, and he has no intention of getting involved. In fact, he likes to realize his ambitious revenge on the battlefield, but does not want to get involved in the various darkness and struggles of the court. It is not that he does not have the ability, but he does not want to and does not have the need. Moreover, he is now blessed with a favor and a transcendent status. There are no seals, and even great achievements. Instead of fighting for power and wealth, gradually consuming the friendship with the emperor, and waiting for the day when the friendship is gone, it is better to be more knowledgeable, be a leisurely prince, and spend more time with his wife and children. Han Yu returned the military power to the emperor and expressed his attitude. Whether it was for the sake of good looks or because he really trusted and wanted to continue to use Han Yu, he had to do something. In addition to taking back the military power, he was determined not to do anything else. Yes, Han Yu was a little helpless and a little relieved. No matter what, the emperor still remembered the friendship between them. At least he didn't erase everything because of that position. In this regard, he still didn't follow the wrong person. However, he could feel that when he handed back the military power, even if the emperor concealed it well, the emotional change at that moment strengthened his determination. Even though he was still in his prime, he did have a trace of regret and unwillingness to retreat bravely. Is his way to protect himself at this time. How about it? The military power is handed back, and the emperor agrees. Han Yu would not hide anything outside from his wife, so Su Wenyu knew what Han Yu was going to do today. She had someone waiting at the door early, waiting for Han Yu to come back. When she saw Han Yu, she immediately asked. That's fine. In the past, you were very busy with the war and had no time to spend time with your children. Now it's just right. Let's be our free idlers and not get involved in the things in the court. With you, just like the friendship we had with the emperor in the past, no one dares to underestimate us, but you promised to accompany me to many places. When Su Wenyu saw Han Yu's confused expression, she smiled and said, she didn't understand how her husband-in-law felt. She said this to comfort Han Yu, not to mention that she really felt so good in her heart. After all, Han Yu really hadn't been well for several years. After spending time with her, the children grew up in a blink of an eye. Han Yu felt warm in his heart when he saw his daughter-in-law acting like this, especially what else could a husband ask for. The emperor took back the military power, but he did not agree to let me lose my job. He said that I was young and strong and it was a good time to serve the country. What's more, the new dynasty has just been established, and there are many wastes waiting to be revitalized. Talents are even more needed, and nothing can be said. Why is this like this? He has occupied you for so many years. It's time to give you back to me. I have already thought about where I want you to accompany me, and you agreed. You can't break your promise, otherwise I will take the child by myself. Yeah, Suwenayu pouted, with a somewhat willful tone, but actually she was worried in her heart. She has experienced what happened in her previous life, and she understands better how the master of great achievements can be punished by his lackeys. At that time, some of the people who supported the emperor to ascend the throne met with a good end. This is not only the case today, but also in all dynasties. Even if the emperor is now, she still has friendship with Han Yu, and how long it will last. She is afraid that Han Yu will end up like that. Even if there is only half a chance, she is not willing to take that risk. Seeing his wife acting like this, Han Yu couldn't help but laugh. You are getting more and more bold. You actually want to leave me alone. If you really dare, I will put a chain on your hand and tie it to my body so that you can have sex. You can't go anywhere with me. Don't worry, your husband will do what he promised you. I have a way to make the emperor promise. How about you just wait for me? As he spoke, Han Yu pinched his wife's little chin, thinking that once she had some free time, the first thing she had to do was to raise this little thing at home until she was plump and fat. He fought in the north and south, and it was really hard for his wife. After receiving Han Yu's affirmative reply, Suwenayu nodded with satisfaction. Then it's settled. As Suwenayu spoke, she remembered that Han Yu was still injured, and added, your injuries are not completely healed yet. Just go to your room and lie down, and recuperate. What if something goes wrong? Don't blame me for hating you then. After saying that, Suwenayu dragged Han Yu inside, feeling a wave of sadness in her heart. Since ancient times, gains and efforts have been directly proportional. Han Yu's success is the result of his desperate efforts. These battles, big and small, have no matter how strong Han Yu's body is, especially in the rainy season when the humidity is heavy, the cold disease in his legs will recur and the pain will be excruciating. Suwenayu feels distressed when he sees this, and becomes more and more concerned about Han Yu's body. It's tight. Okay, I'll listen to you, housekeeper, she's getting nagging more and more. Han Yu said this, but he didn't feel impatient, and followed Suwenayu's instructions and went to the room. I think I'm nagging, and I don't think about myself anymore. I'm more and more like a child. I used to always tell me to take care of myself, but I don't pay attention to it. Especially in the early spring, there is a lot of rain. When the time comes, if the leg disease relapses, it's you who will be in pain. Suwenayu said angrily. This guy actually thought she was nagging, but she was right. Not long after the weather cleared up, it started to rain, and it started to rain non-stop. Looking at the gloomy sky, Suwenayu felt a little irritable for no reason, always feeling that something was going to happen. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Rebirth of a Farming Wife. Author, TNNI. Chapter 620. Madam, the noble lady in the palace has sent a confidant here. He said that he would like to ask Madam to come into the palace when you are free. He wants to catch up with you. Noble Lady Li, Suwenayu raised her eyebrows. Now the master of the harem has not yet been decided. Guo, Yinliwa, and Chen Li have all been named nobles. This is a sensitive time, and Lady Li invites her into the palace. I'm afraid it won't be as simple as reminiscing about old times. Even if she seemed to have some friendship with Lee Gyron back then, it wasn't worth her to get involved in these things. It's just that since I came to invite, it would not be good if I refused bluntly. It would offend someone anyway. Before Su Wenyu could think of a proper way, she got the news that Yin Liwa sent someone to invite her, and she felt even more headache for a while. Regarding Yin Liwa, Su Wenyu also felt something in her heart. In her previous life, Yin Liwa took the initiative to give up her position as queen because of Lu Xiu's regard, occupying the most advantageous position. Things have changed so much in this life, and Yin Liwa at this time is far inferior to I was favored at that time, but I was afraid that I didn't have the confidence at that time, so I joined the competition for the harem master position at the beginning. Sir, you said that both of them are invited to the palace. Could it be for the sake of the throne of the harem? Su Wenyu had a headache, so she asked Han Yu for details. But I guess that was the reason. The main thing was to think about it. Let Han Yu think of ways for her to deal with it. In this aspect, Su Wenyu felt that even if she had a brain, she couldn't compare to Han Yu. Han Yu felt distressed when he saw his wife's headache. Moreover, this time both Lee Gyron and Yin Gyron were looking for his wife at this time. I'm afraid things were not that simple. Not only was the emperor's test in the morning, he had just returned from the palace. The spy got some information. Do you still remember the colorful and exquisite lantern that we won during the Lantern Festival that day? The one that was later taken away by Sikongling was now presented to the emperor by him. There is definite news that there is a treasure hidden in that palace lantern. Picture. The colorful exquisite lantern also fell into our hands. The emperor may have known the news, and he also tested me today. I am afraid that Lee Gyron and Yin Gyron also want to find out the information from you. If they can get anything useful. The news has made a contribution to the emperor, and he is close to that position. So that's what happened. Why did you invite me into the palace at this time? Su Wenyu finally understood. But now that she understood the purpose of Chen Li and Yin Liwa, Su Wenyu became worried again. Just because of this reason, even if she politely refuses, the two people in the harem will not give up so easily. Han Yu spoke at this time. He really couldn't bear to see his wife's frowning expression. What's there to be sad about? I've told the emperor everything I need to say about the colorful lanterns. As for the concubines, if you don't want to see me, just refuse. There is no need to worry about anything. Now, you no longer need to compromise. I will support you no matter what. You are a superb wife of Genkuo. Don't say that your position is still undecided. Even if the queen's position is determined, the queen will still be polite and considerate of you. There is really no need to embarrass yourself like this. When Su Wenyu heard this, she immediately became enlightened, her eyes sparkling. My husband is saying, with you supporting me, what do I have to fear? If you are timid, it will only insult the reputation of my wife Genkuo, not to mention that you can't even handle matters in the court. I don't want to get involved, and I don't even want to get involved in the harem. Han Yu smiled and nodded. Although his wife was stupid sometimes, she was always very transparent when she should be smart. She already understood the truth without his careful guidance. By the way, about the colorful lanterns and the treasure map. Su Wenyu's topic turned to the treasure map again. She and Han Yu knew what happened back then, especially since the emperor had already asked about Han Yu. Han Yu held Su Wenyu's hand. Whether that treasure map is true or false has nothing to do with us, right? Since I have made up my mind that I will not get involved, there is no need to pay attention to this matter. Su Wenyu nodded and shook Han Yu's hand. She felt instantly at ease and the atmosphere became warm for a moment, but Han Yu suddenly frowned. Mr. Sir, what's wrong with you? The leg problem occurs again, Su Wenyu asked quickly. Seeing Han Yu's behavior, she quickly helped Han Yu lie down on the bed without panicking. This is not the first time Han Yu has suffered from leg disease. She had been able to deal with it calmly twice, but after all she felt sorry for Han Yu, so she kept giving orders to ask the imperial doctor to come over immediately. But the pain is severe? Your leg disease is getting more and more serious. Every time the imperial doctor comes, he just does it. Apart from relieving some pain, it has no practical effect at all. It is simply treating the symptoms but not the root cause. In my opinion, it is better to find Dr. Mu as soon as possible. Divine Dr. Mu has superb medical skills, and he might be able to cure your leg disease, and you won't have to endure such pain every time. So when Yu had already thought this, and sent people out to look for Divine Dr. Mu, but Dr. Mu's whereabouts were uncertain and he was never found. When the news came back, Su Yu frowned even more thinking about it. Silly girl, don't worry. I have already contacted Miracle Dr. Mu, and he arrived in the capital yesterday, but I haven't had time to tell you yet. Really, that's great. There's no need to ask the Imperial Doctor. Now let's ask Divine Dr. Mu to come over. With Divine Dr. Mu here, wouldn't it be more useful than any other Imperial Doctor? Su Yu said happily, and immediately about to take action, Han Yu stopped him. Don't say goodbye now, let the Imperial Doctor come over. Su Yu turned to look at Han Yu. Because she was anxious, she didn't think of anything else. She immediately understood Han Yu's intention. You want to? My daughter-in-law is smart. Now I have a relapse of my old illness. The pain is unbearable. It is difficult to even walk. I have too much time to take care of myself, let alone all the affairs in the court. I am really unable to do what I want. I can only ask the emperor to use other talented people. As for you, my wife, you must do it. Stay in the house and take care of me. Han Yu said with a smile that he had already intended to withdraw, so now is a good time to achieve his goal without damaging the emperor's face. Moreover, the emperor may still be suspicious about this colorful incident. Yes, the matter can no longer be delayed, otherwise it will inevitably be involved. What my husband said is that my husband's current condition is serious. I'm afraid one imperial doctor is not enough. We need to invite several more imperial doctors to discuss whether there is any way to diagnose and treat him. Su Yu followed Han Yu's words and immediately went to do it again. As for whether Han Yu's leg disease was so serious, Su Yu was not worried at all. Since Han Yu had said it, he must have made a plan. Not long after, several imperial doctors were hurriedly found by the servants of Genkuo Ho Mansion. They saw Mrs. Genkuo wiping tears in front of the window with red eyes, and lying on the bed with a weak and pale face, sweating. The Marquis of Genkuo, even if he had a hint of complaint in his heart, he did not dare to show it at this time, and carefully checked Han Yu's pulse. Rebirth of a Farming Wife. Author, Tian. Chapter 621. The injuries of the Marquis of Genkuo have been diagnosed by the imperial doctors in the palace. The imperial doctors all knew that Han Yu had a leg disease, but they didn't expect the situation to be so serious. In addition, his old injuries had not been healed. At this time, if he was not careful, all the injuries would burst out. If he was not careful, even if it was not fatal, he would be bedridden. The imperial doctors could not cure Han Yu's injuries at the beginning, let alone now that they were more serious. Several imperial doctors gathered together for a long time to discuss, and only came up with a more reliable method. Moreover, such a disease could not be cured in a few days. He could only rest slowly and leave the prescription to report to the palace. The emperor was particularly concerned about the situation in the Marquis of Genkuo's mansion. When Han Yu's old illness relapsed and he asked for the imperial doctor, the emperor immediately knew about it and waited for the results of the imperial doctor's diagnosis in the palace. Is the situation of the Marquis of Genkuo really so serious that he can't even get out of bed? Lu Xiu seemed to be a little anxious and asked, but his expression was a little unpredictable. The imperial physician carefully reported the diagnosis results to the emperor, with sweat all over his forehead. The emperor's majesty was unpredictable, and the emperor's thoughts were not something they could guess. Knowing that Han Yu's condition was really so serious, Lu Xiu seemed to be relieved, but the worry on his face was much more real. Since the imperial physician said so, it was true. So many imperial physicians had gone, and the doctor was still his confidant, so it was impossible to make a false statement. Thinking of the cause of Han Yu's illness, Lu Xiu felt even more guilty and sincere. He ordered the imperial physician to treat Han Yu well, and then asked the imperial physician to withdraw. He sat alone in the imperial study, not knowing what he was thinking. This time, Han Yu submitted a letter of resignation, which was indeed unusually smooth and was immediately approved. Afterwards, many rewards came from the palace one after another, all of which were concerned about Han Yu's injuries and asked him to take good care of his injuries. Han Yu and his wife respectfully accepted the rewards and lived their own lives behind closed doors. Half a year later. Husband, you promised me to go to XX to see the scenery. I think the weather is just right now, with the autumn weather being refreshing. Shouldn't we set off? Su Wenyu has been thinking about going out for fun these days. At the beginning, because of Han Yu's leg disease, and the excuse in front of the emperor that the old disease relapsed, it was naturally not good to go out for fun immediately, otherwise wouldn't it be exposed that her lie? After waiting for such a long time, she couldn't bear it anymore and begged Han Yu to say. Han Yu has been happy with his wife during this period. He knows that his wife has been pent up these days, and he has money and free time now, so there is no reason not to agree. He readily agreed, okay, I'll do as you say. Arrange the affairs of the mansion in the next 2 days, and we will set off the day after tomorrow. Husband, you are so good. Finally getting Han Yu's affirmative answer, Su Wenyu was so happy that she almost jumped up, and quickly asked someone to send a message to Xing Geer and his 3 sisters to prepare the gifts for the journey, and count the emergencies that will be encountered on the road. It is always right to be prepared for everything. Unfortunately, despite all her calculations, Su Wenyu didn't expect that she would feel unwell just after leaving the city gate. She didn't get sick in the carriage before, and she adapted well even when she followed Han Yu to fight in such bad conditions. But this time, the comfortable carriage prepared for her was very uncomfortable to sit in, and she always felt chest tightness and vomiting. At first, Su Wenyu was afraid that Han Yu would regret it. She had finally waited for the journey, so she just endured the discomfort and thought that she would be fine after adapting. But she didn't expect that the situation became more and more serious. She couldn't help vomiting in the carriage just after leaving the city gate. This scared Han Yu and Xing Geer and his 3 siblings, so they didn't have time to have fun. Han Yu asked someone to invite the imperial physician, but he thought the imperial physician was too slow, so he found a nearby clinic with good medical skills to treat Su Wenyu. The old doctor seemed to have checked Su Wenyu's pulse, and then he stroked his beard and said leisurely, "Congratulations, madam, your pulse is as smooth as a ball, it's a happy pulse. It's been 2 months. Han Yu was first anxious by the old doctor's slow tone and movements, and was surprised and happy to hear the doctor's words. Su Wenyu was also stunned. Although she was lucky enough to give birth when she jumped off the cliff, she fell into the cold pond and the cold air entered her body. The doctor had diagnosed that she could not get pregnant again. Unexpectedly, after so many years, she had given up hope, but she suddenly got pregnant again, and at such a time, should she be surprised, happy or depressed? Su Wenyu was pregnant, so it was impossible for her to go out for fun. Han Yu did not hesitate and immediately took his wife and children back home, holding his wife carefully in his arms all the way. When he returned to the mansion, the imperial doctor arrived and asked the imperial doctor to check Su Wenyu's pulse again and again to confirm that she was really pregnant. Han Yu really reacted this time, but he was not very happy. He already has 2 sons and 1 daughter, and the inheritance of offspring has been established. Thinking back to the thrilling experience of his wife's pregnancy, he would rather his wife be well. As for children, men of this era like to have many children, but it is not necessary for his wife to have them. Senior and Chenner have grown up and will be able to marry and have children in 2 years. Then let Senior, Chenner, and their wives have more children. Hanyu had good thoughts, but his wife's pregnancy was an established fact. Not to mention that his wife would never agree to give up the child in her belly. Hanyu had asked the imperial physician early on that if the child in her belly was aborted, it would also be harmful to his wife's body. He could only take good care of the child and let his wife give birth to the child. Su Wenyu was lying in bed very depressed at this time. She never expected to be pregnant with a child at this time. The 3 brothers and sisters Sengir had grown up and were almost at the age of marrying a wife. It seemed that she felt a little embarrassed, but having a child was a good thing after all. She was a little happy at first, even though the pregnancy trip was ruined, but the way Hanyu kept her in the house like a pig really made her crazy. Not only was she not allowed to go out and she was kept in captivity in the mansion, she was also asked to have the imperial doctor come to see her twice a day. A large group of maids and women were surrounding her every day, especially when Hanyu was watching in person most of the time. Looking at her, Hanyu would read books and practice martial arts when he was free in the house for the past 6 months, and had some other pastimes to pass the time. Now he is fine, he doesn't go there all day long, he just follows her, and she doesn't touch him. The idea is to murmur on the sidelines and annoy Su Wenyu. The emperor always pays attention to the news about the Genkuo Marquis mansion. Even though Hanyu resigned, he still paid close attention to it. When he learned that Hanyu and his family went out to play, he was very depressed. As an emperor, he was exhausted from working in the palace. Working hard every day in order to secure his position, but Hanyu was surrounded by his beloved wife and children. He lived a life of ease, and his heart was unbalanced. People are like this. Although he was relieved when Hanyu relinquished his power, he was unwilling to see Hanyu so carefree, especially when Hanyu left with Su Wenyu. Regarding Su Wenyu's thoughts, even if he could only think about it in his heart, it would never come to fruition. But when Zhenkuaha and his family were in the capital, he could always pay attention to their movements and know her news. He didn't want to be too far away from her. Knowing that Su Wenyu was pregnant again, Lu Xiu was not unhappy. Sometimes there were things that he didn't necessarily need to get. He just wanted to quietly pay attention to her news and give himself some thoughts. Your Majesty, you must have never imagined that Marquis Zhenguo is doing nothing during the whole day. He is just holding on to his status as Madame Zhenguo. He enjoys being ordered around by Madame Zhenguo. However, he is also disliked by Madame Zhenguo the eunuch. When I said this, I covered my mouth and laughed softly. Lu Xiu imagined Hanyu's appearance at this time, and there was a slight smile on his li.